Hi, this is Elena. Welcome back to my channel, to this video. Today's message is about intentional living. And I have recorded a previous video, I think it was a video. No, it was more audio, but I will leave the link on the description box below about intuitive lifestyle and how we are called in a huge way to follow our own intuition of how to co-create life with universe, with ourselves, others. And now it's about intentional living, and of course there will be a follow-up video which combines both intentional and intuitive lifestyles and living. Today though, I will go a bit deep on intentional living, explaining how we can actually apply, because it's one thing to say that I'm living intentionally, I'm using intentions in my life, I do things consciously with awareness, but we do have to break it down of how this is applied, not to check in with yourself if you're following the steps, but to get an idea of how you can be more intentional with your choices and everything else in your life. As we know, if we break it down, it is about work life, personal life, love life. These are the three main aspects in general, but even those can be broken down even to more subcategories, if I can say that. The point is how to apply intentions and have an intentional way of living on all of those factors, on all of these aspects of your life. And sometimes we think we do, but we don't actually. All it takes is a bit of awareness. Bring the consciousness, your awareness to the present moment, to what you are creating, and it's not I want to be living everything to chance or someone will provide and universe will provide. That is absolutely true, but we also have to co-create. So there is a phrase in Greek, Sin Athena ke Hierakini, which means along with the goddess Athena you have to move your own hand, you have to put in some effort. I bet there is something similar in English, but forgive me that I'm not aware of it at this point of time. Let's start with my notes on breaking down how to create an intentional living. Positioning yourself. This is the first thing I want us to explore together. Positioning yourself. What does it mean? It can be about who you are, which is an interesting subject, and it can go in depth, but it's not about your personal identity. It's more about I am that I am. This is a detachment of all the labels, a deeper connection with the higher self. It means you are open to explore all the aspects of yourself without being attached on any of the labels. Yes, I'm someone's daughter, I'm someone's sister, I'm someone's friend, I'm someone's lover, partner, however you want to say. I'm someone's coach and spiritual mentor, I'm someone's healer, I'm someone's channeler and reader. These are all personality labels. When I get to be detached from all these roles, I can actually explore who I truly am without getting attached, and I can navigate life with flexibility without creating more resistance. I'm only this, I'm only an oracle. No, I'm not only an oracle. I'm only a mentor. No, I'm not only a mentor. I'm only this. No, I'm this and a lot more. So be flexible with how you see yourself and how you allow yourself to explore all aspects of you, and that is a crown chakra principle in many ways. Now, what do you want? What do you want from your life, and why? This is very important, because when we are becoming aware of what we actually want and what we don't want, So we have different stages of self-exploration. Sometimes we come across everything that we don't want of from our lives, in our lives, from people, from situations, from anything you can imagine. But there is also the state that comes to you and shows you what you want. In that space, what I would be suggesting and advising is to be open enough to explore what you want, because even with that, there are several parameters. What I think I want, what I feel I want, what I imagine I want, what I truly want, what I truly need, which intensifies my desires and what I truly want. That's interesting. And then you get into a space of allowing yourself to experience what you want, and even better, even more of that or something else. The reason why I'm saying what do you want and why, the reasoning behind that usually gives you clarity if that's what you truly want, if you want it for the right reasons, and it can actually open up a different portal within yourself to explore what you truly want. Because sometimes when I am intentional in writing down what I want and why, that why will show me that this comes from a wounded space. This is not actually what I truly want. I just want it because I want to close a cycle of things in my life that has not given me anything that I desired. So I want to actually get to cherish myself, nurture myself, and close up some wounds I already have. And the most beautiful of all, actually, when I put my reasoning down, the reasons why I want something, I will intensify the forces around that intention of what I want. I will intensify, and this is where we say universe works in your favor and will guide you exactly where you need to be, because you are becoming aware of why this is important to you, why this matters to you. We are not gonna be checking in with ourselves with everything, with every desire, with every need, with every want we have, and that's okay. That goes with the intuitive lifestyle. But the more aware we are becoming of ourselves, the easier it is to recognize where that need or desire comes from, so I can choose in wisdom and in truth, integrity with myself, if I truly want it or not. And it's not bad at all to want to satisfy a desire, even if it comes from a wounded place within yourself. It's absolutely fantastic because it offers more as a healing process. It's absolutely fantastic, but being aware of it makes it even more healing, if it makes sense. And this comes to a closure, the positioning of yourself. Who are you? What do you want out of this situation? What do you want out of this investment of your time, of your energy, of your money? Usually when I'm posting events, I'm asking in one of the questions, what do you want to get out of this event? Because becoming aware and setting intentions of what do I actually want out of this, it will intensify, it will bring back to me answers for my intentions, or it will show me the way how to create more of that. And sometimes it's not the facilitator that has to create that for you. It will be created because you set the intentions behind that. Moving on to another way of creating an intentional living, affirmations. I already covered one of those at the first question. Who are you? I am that I am. The more you practice this repetition of this affirmation, you are opening up through the quantum field of exploring fully yourself in every aspect of it, even if something doesn't resonate with you, but you are open enough to explore it and understand why it doesn't resonate with you. I am that I am. It opens you up in connecting with your highest self, not just the higher self, but the highest self, It opens you up to exploring yourself in so many different ways that sometimes we are not even aware of all the ways that this can happen. So I'm inviting you to explore yourself even more with this I am that I am. It takes away some labels that are falsely placed even by us or others to ourselves. So why wouldn't I like to have all the masks that I'm wearing dropped down as much as possible? Those that have fulfilled their purpose, those masks that are not helpful for me anymore, and even more so embracing other parts of me, other aspects of me that are there to take me to the next step of my soul's evolution. Why not? That's beautiful. Another affirmation, I surrender to my soul's desires. I surrender to my soul's desires. The more you practice that, you will feel at ease and you will be moving forward with grace, no resistance, not trying to figure out possessively and obsessively who are you and what you want from your life. A similar one, I surrender to my soul's guidance. When my spirit surrenders to my soul's guidance, magic happens. Life in the most beautiful way happens. So try that. I surrender to my soul's guidance, and I would suggest to try these affirmations for many days. When you go to sleep, remember, I surrender to my soul's guidance. When you wake up, I surrender to my soul's desires. Because your soul is here to guide you and experience the best out of this life. I am in full allowance of my highest good. I am in full allowance of my highest good, which shows that you are getting into the vortex of allowance, of always being at the right place for the right reasons, at the right moment, with the right people, with no resistance, with no getting too much in your head, without getting into a space of questioning and doubting and feeling off. And at the same time, that may also guide us in lessons, which we will take in the most protective way, in the most secure way, integrating with ease and grace everything that could have been even worse. At least I can't guarantee there won't be any surprises, unpleasant surprises, but at least it's gonna be as best as possible. And usually we don't understand it until we have been out of that challenge or challenging situation, out of that lesson, where we get clarity of what was happening and why, and how it could have been even worse. And of course, let's not forget how it could have been also even better. The one doesn't exclude the other, and it's not okay for us to say, yeah, I went through that difficult situation and I loved it. No, you didn't, I didn't, no one does. Let's be honest with ourselves, transparent that some challenges are quite challenging. Okay. I'm always divinely connected, guided, and protected. I'm always divinely guided, connected, and protected. Have been using this affirmation, part of it. I'm always divinely guided and protected. And honestly, I can't explain to you how many times I saw it in actions, during, before, afterwards, whatever that was. And I was, oh, okay, now that makes sense. Now it totally makes sense. And probably have seen this phrase going around on social media saying that sometimes universe doesn't deliver actually, because it is you're protected. And that's true. That is absolutely true. and many times I had to laugh with myself and my persistence in having something or experiencing something specific, only when I realized actually that I was protected and guided not to experience it at all. Okay, now we are getting to realize what resistance is, what allowance is, and how it makes a huge difference. Because, yes, I'm very spirited, but at the same time, my soul knows how to guide me where and why. So I'm always divinely guided, connected, and protected. Moving on to the next parameter of intentional living that I want to mention in this transmission. It's not transmission from spirit exactly, because I have been working with them offline, taking notes, gathering things that I need to be exploring and sharing with you. So go with me. Observe your reality and your participation. There is so much clarity and understanding that comes when we observe the reality around us, with different people, with ourselves, how the situations have been happening. And observing, I definitely don't mean that you have to stay in a space of not speaking, just listening to everyone around you. There are times that when you get to be observing yourself and others at the same time as participating fully in your life, you are going to see the different connections, the different chords created between you and others, how the dynamics of different situations are playing up in your life, what is your participation, how you keep a situation active or reactive or passive, and you will be able to say clearly your yeses and your nos. I like this, I don't like this. Hey, I don't tolerate this anymore in my life. It sounds very simple. And some of you may say, oh, that's hard to apply. Yeah, if you haven't done it before, it is hard. If you are listening to this for the first time in your life, yeah, it's gonna be a bit hard or difficult or challenging. But it is hard because you have been resisting it. If you get into the space of allowance to just be yourself as it comes to you at this point of time, in this specific situation, you won't actually have to feel challenged by doing something differently, by responding differently, by saying, you know what, this is not my jam. I'm not gonna be participating in this dynamic anymore. And that's okay. And that is absolutely fantastic in every way. About your participation and observing and participating at the same time is also to do with emotions. We are so used to connecting spirituality with the Zen state, the flow state, that everything is just amazing. But we have forgotten that spirituality is actually exactly the opposite of that. And why? Because spirituality is meant to trigger you to explore yourself, to explore your shadows, to explore your golden shadows, to explore who you are. If you're pretending to yourself and those around you that you are love and light, and instead of saying, I'm not doing this, instead of embracing the side of you that is angry, that is frustrated, that is disappointed, you're gonna show up always with that open heart, open though in the wrong direction for the wrong reasons. Because you're stopping yourself from experiencing your true feelings and emotions about a situation because you have to be this or that. Remember about the labels, I am that I am. This is how you have to apply the same thing when it comes to your feelings and emotions. If at some point you speak with someone that something, a feeling, an emotion is triggered in you, you have to speak up. Unless you want to stay with that feeling and entertain why it showed up, be more aware of the messages of this feeling, and it's not anybody's job to know how you feel about this or that. I totally get it. I'm not saying go around, you make me feel like this, bye, or I'm gonna love you as hard as I can, bye, or whatever it is. It's not about this kind of expression, self-expression. On the contrary, it's about being fully present with yourself. It's about not putting someone else as a priority in your life by ignoring your own feelings and your own emotions of how they make you feel, or how a situation makes you feel, or of how it isn't in alignment with you anymore, or how you tried to make it work and it hasn't worked. Even when it comes to your clients, when you are reading for others, when you are doing healing for others, you are absolutely allowed to have your own feelings about the person you are working with, about the situations that they are not ready to face, or about the things, not situations, the things that they are asking you stuff to channel for them. You are a human being and a spiritual being at the same time, and you are pretty much allowed to have everything. Even if one of your feelings, emotions is triggered while you are giving a service to someone, there is a reason. Which takes me to the next point that has to do with this. Every feeling or emotion carries a message. This is why we have to allow the emotions to flow through us, experience them. If I want to cry, if I want to laugh, if I want to feel excited, anticipating something to happen, I will allow all the emotions to flow through me without judging them, without saying to myself, oh, why do you want to cry now with this? You're stupid. Yeah, I am, but I want to cry, and I will cry, and I will feel stupid as well, and that's absolutely fine. I have every right to feel all of these things. Even feeling stupid is a feeling, okay? Regardless of the label we add to that. So every feeling, every emotion that flows through you carries a message, and you can only decipher what kind of message that is, or the full of the message, the fullest of the message, every line of the message if you prefer, when you allow this emotion to flow through you. You have no idea how many times I cried my eyes out at first and I didn't know why this heaviness out of the blue. Yes, connected to a past life, okay, but what's the point? What's the connection with this life? Why did I connect with that past life now, where I'm feeling this in my present moment? It has a connection point with this lifetime, with something from this lifetime. So if I don't find the connection, how will I understand myself and why I'm feeling like this? And believe me, those messages that come through your emotions are extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. If you don't be curious enough to explore why this specific feeling is coming through now, it won't be easy to decipher what is that. And there are times that I keep getting answers, even some time later on, and that's perfect. Again, whatever I need will come to me at the right time, at the right way, in the right way, for the right reasons. Which takes me to the next bullet point about intentional living. Allowance. One of my favorite words, allowance. I had a 3-day workshop about allowance. It's so deep that you can't even imagine. I can't even imagine, to be honest with you, because there are many layers and levels that we can go through something. What I love the most with this is when I step back and I ask, how does this need to be done? It's not that I'm asking my higher self or my spirit guides or even my soul or whatever you want to call it. I'm asking the whole situation how it wants to be dealt with. I'm asking the book how it wants to be read. I'm asking anything. Even the person in front of me, I will ask, how do you want to be seen, understood, felt, experienced? Or I ask myself, how do I want to be experienced by others? When you let yourself ask how something needs to be experienced or unpacked or moved forward or be left behind or whatever it is, it will show you the way. It's you speaking the energy language, because everything is energy. So when you're speaking the language of energy, you're gonna have responses. You're gonna have a huge conversation, or the absolute necessary and essential stuff will come through. The absolute essential. This is where you work with energy, and everything is energy. And when you choose to ask how something needs to be unpacked, you are harmonized and fully aligned as a creator, actually as a co-creator, because you are asking energetically, you receive the responses energetically, you observe, you follow, you participate. I don't like this. Can we change it? Can we add something else instead of this? Can we go through that path instead of that, the other path? You are speaking the energy language, and that kind of allowance automatically puts you in a space of co-creation and not even navigating, doing life. You're flowing through the different situations and different people around you and within you at the same time, because you are asking and you're curious and you're co-creating. You're not going to demand something, to decrease something with the masculine energy. You are co-creating with the feminine energy, but also with respect, with love, with active listening, and going with the flow. I think if this is something that I could call going with the flow, this is exactly it. And my last bullet point, I think it is my last, for all of these things, has to do with getting back to the initial subject of intentional living. How can you be more intentional with your own energy, with your own self? Which sums up everything else, but it expands them at the same time. Energy clearance, connection with yourself and your core energy. Can you apply that as a daily routine? Not in a, I have to do this, and if I don't do this, something will go the wrong way. Not in that way. In the way that I respect myself, I respect my energy, so I will clear it from unnecessary energies that I have picked up, I have connected through the day, or I used through the day, or while talking with other people. I will detach from everything. I will do a very fast, easy clearance of my energy, visualizing myself in a spiral where everything that is not mine, or it is excess, or whatever you can imagine of, now leaves my energy, goes back to where it belongs, goes back to the source, goes to the violet flame, goes to any kind of flame you want. I'm purifying kind of thing my energies, reconnecting myself with my core essence, feeling myself and into myself again, checking if one of my chakras needs some kind of alignment or clearance or whatever in. Checking in with my physical body, how do I feel with my arms, the core of my body, my legs, is everything okay at its place? not exactly like that, but how do I feel in my body, in my energy, in my emotional energy, in my spiritual energy, in my mental energy. Having those checks that don't take time, like you can do that in 5 minutes. That's too much. You can do it in 2 or 3 minutes, actually, if you want to give it a bit of effort, even, because it can be happening really fast, not even in that. Like, okay, detached from everything. Breathing in, okay, detached and connected with myself. It's a choice, an instant choice. This is why I'm saying it doesn't take much of a time. Can you do that in the morning when you wake up, after you've done your dream work, your astral projection, after you have been helping I don't know how many souls on this planet, or being helped, or being taught, or teaching others, whatever the work. So you reground yourself, you call back all your energy. You are just feeling yourself, your essence again, regrounded in your own beingness, in your own body, and starting your day like that. And again, if you feel kind of off during the day, you do it for a couple of minutes, but necessarily when you go to bed. This is the most amazing moment for me to relax. I'm a night owl for sure, but evening times I prefer staying in my energy, reflecting on things, opening up to listen more to my guidance and feel into different energies. I love doing that, and it's not something I have to do because of what I do as a job, because I like being myself with myself and exploring that again, rebalancing myself in many ways, centering, rebalancing, realigning myself. And when you make that a habit, it becomes your second nature. How do you wake up and you go to the bathroom, you do what you have to do there, water on your face, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into details. This is how we do it. This is the energy work we are doing either way, but becoming aware of it and more conscious of it and doing it intentionally. It makes it louder, clearer in our energies, and it becomes a lifestyle, a choice we keep doing. I'm gonna love you and leave you with this. There are timestamps if you want to go back to some specific points of this clip on the description box below. I'm calling you to book a session, either a reading, a mentorship session, soul energetics, which I love as a session because we are working on many levels. It's quite beautiful. And please write me any comments, any aha moments you may have through this video, because I'm not saying something wow, but putting the perspective, the mindset behind each of our actions, why we should be doing that, or why is it better for me to do that, and how it will help me. It actually brings so much clarity and again intentions behind our actions that they make a huge difference, believe me. It's one thing when you tell me you have to do this task because of this and this reason, and this is what we're getting out of it, what we want, and it's a completely different thing when I tell you just do this. The end. You will be like, okay, why? You're not even aware why. You're not even aware how it will help you, or how it will enhance your awareness in something, or what's the purpose of that. After all, okay, we can blindly follow anything, but if we don't know what's the purpose, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference. Remember, be true to yourself and be your true self, which is my favorite mantra of all. Everything is energy, so start speaking the energy language. A huge hug, I love you. Fingers crossed, the year of the snake is coming to an end. And we are beginning the year of the horse. And we can start breathing again. Love you, and see you in the next transmission.